We are back. Man, I think tools are pretty important. And on today's episode of Swaps and Stuff Garage, as you can see, there's still snow on the cars. We're going to try to work on this engine run stand, man. I say work on. I'm going to try to collect some parts. I got some basically recycled metal. Some recycled metal, some tubing, some things that we're going to go ahead and try to use for this engine run stand. Of course, we're going to use some slider mounts to bolt to the engine, right? And then when we put those to the engine, then we'll put I got a piece of C-channel. And then I got this little base, a frame base that I got to go dig out. That I got to go dig out of my little trailer. So if I'm able to dig that out, we've got a win. We've got a big win coming together. So I'm gonna have to give me some tools, cut the C-channel, because that's gonna be my base. Let me get it out, and then I'll give you a rundown of what we're doing. This is the base. This is what we're gonna start with. Yeah, a little, like I said, recycled. We're gonna start with that right there, and then we've got some recycled casters we're gonna put on there. And then we got a meddling mutt. I don't know what his deal is. I held on to it for that reason. I said, man, I'm gonna hold on to this for something. So now my plan is, I think I am gonna put a piece of C-channel across somewhere in here. Wherever the motor mount's gonna be, I'm gonna put a piece of C-channel in there. And then come straight up with some tubing, about like this, and bolt the motor to it. And then eventually I want to get what we call a bell housing. I want to get a bell housing for the rear and bolt the engine to the bell housing. Come off of this somewhere so the bell housing can bolt to it. I don't want it so close to where I can't run a radiator. I think radiator will go right here. You know, I want to give myself a bunch of room. And this square, it's gonna work, but it don't look like it's gonna give me a bunch of room. So first thing we're gonna do, I think, is go ahead and, like I'll show you, use these recycled casters. Weld them on, and weld them on, right? And then I got a piece of C-channel. I need to get my tape measure that I'm gonna put across here as a brace. And then I may have to cut that piece of tubing off and flare it out, give me more room. Actually, I know I'm gonna have to actually. Casters on first thing, and then get my cutting disc, and I'm gonna put my C-channel in here. And I want to kind of get me a measurement from an actual engine stand and where the motor mounts hit to where I'm gonna put the motor mounts over here. Because like I said, this is gonna be my run stand. I want to run this engine on this stand to find out why it was in the junkyard. And then not only that, from now on, if I get a engine from the junkyard or wherever, I haven't heard it run, I could put it here, fire it up. I can fire it up on this as well. I can put a flywheel on this, and I can fire this engine up. But I feel more confident doing it on the run stand. And we more than likely going to use our little 5-gallon bucket for our fuel cell, man. We'll put a little spot for it. All right. If y'all listen closely in the background, y'all might be able to hear that Sun-Kiss, that orange box Chevy running. It Yeah, it's still showing itself, but anyway, we're gonna knock some of this paint off to put these so we'll put this side down here like so, and then we'll put the locking side up top. They're used. We'll put these like so. We'll weld down this side, weld over here, and then the same thing over here. So I need to knock some more of this off. It's gonna work, y'all. It's gonna work. What I'm gonna try to attempt on this video is to get my casters on, get my cross piece in, and possibly get my vertical uprights where the motor's gonna mount at. The only problem that I have is, as far as the vertical uprights, I have no way to get my motor out because Shorty is parked in the garage. She's at work. So we'll get to what we can get to, y'all. As y'all can see, the box Chevy's in the background. That is what we're building this engine stand for. So I got my C channel right here. I'm measuring across. Like I said, that's going to be my cross piece. That's where the actual verticals are going to go for where the motor is going to mount. The motor stand. So I just need to do some more measuring here. And then more welding, exactly. Kind of crude, the way that I'm actually having to do all this. Like, what do you call it? Caveman style, outside in the gravel. But that's how it goes down when you get Swatch the Stuff garage, y'all. Swatch the Stuff garage. Like I said, with all recycled stuff, man. All recycled stuff. One thing I can't really get my grasp on is throwing tools away. I can't wrap my head around it. Because I remember a time where I did not have not a tool, and I was needing to do this, I was needing to do that, and I didn't have not one tool. So I can't wrap my head around throwing away tools. I can't. Although there's some tools you don't need, and it's better off just get rid of them. But let's do some cutting. All right. Hey, I'm amazed at these cutting discs right here. Harbor Freights, Hercules. I'm amazed at these. They do, you know, for the thickness of metal I'm cutting right now, they work pretty good. They're not a flat disc or a disc that you would want to use to clean metal with, but I do. It ain't take no time to cut it, man. Just hope that our tape measure did not deceive us. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and come off from. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead. Let me flip this thing around. I'm gonna go ahead and come off the back of the engine here. We come off the back of the engine here up to, we're going to guesstimate the center of our motor mount hole, and we're going to call it 13 inches. And that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to come from here and go 13 inches. That'll be the center. But I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to come on up to 16 because I got slider mounts. So I'm going to come up to 16. And then that's where I'm going to put my crossbar. Got that C-channel in place. That's where my vertical uprights are going to go for the motor mounts. Yeah, vertical upright. So that's where the motor itself is going to bolt to. I'm hoping that I can get a bell housing that I can run back here. And then I'll cut that off and probably cut these off as well. These, and use these as kickers for my radiator mount. You know, recycle, reuse, reuse, recycle. Let me grab my welder. We'll weld these pieces in. We'll flip it over, weld in our casters, and then from there, I would love to be able to try to, you know, get the motor in position and weld in my vertical uprights, because that's going to tell me where everything needs to sit. I don't know. And at my height, I don't know how high I want it off the ground. I know the radiator needs to sit higher. We're going to attempt to put the radiator higher. So let me get the welding. All right, we've got that cross piece in. Got my welder hooked up. Let's see how she's going to act. Most of the time, my dang welding hood don't want to act right. Well, I'm going to get a tack on it anyway. But it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I wish I could turn this machine up a little hotter, man. But I can't. What I got is what I got. Myself a little closer because I'm becoming old and can't see. All right, there it is, y'all. That's the casters are on it. The cross pieces on it. You see the vertical uprights. It's sitting a little higher, and I probably won't, but I think I'm gonna just leave it where it's at as far as the height goes. I need to test fit. I can't put my vertical uprights where they need to go until I'm able to bolt everything to the engine. I need to bolt my motor mounts to the engine, then bolt my vertical uprights to the engine, and then set it where I need it, tack it, weld it. Then I think I'm going to have to like cut these things off. These little raggedy gussets I had right here, cut these off and put them in there. You know, I don't plan on running anything other than the LS joint, and a small block Chevy will fit in there as well. You know, if I ever decide to put one in there. Like I said, this is just junk from laying around, man. I'll throw some paint all the way around it, make it all one color, and see what it does, man. See what it does. Like I said, again, I could start it on the stand that it's on. I'd put a flywheel on it first, add power, and we are going to use a China boy harness to start this engine as well. Why? Plug and play. Plug it up. We use the old faithful green bean computer and put a sheet or the TBSS intake on it. Put some gauges on it and hit the key, man. See what we got. We ain't too far from that. We are, actually. I'm trying to figure out a way I could do all this because my garage is occupied. So I could possibly move some stuff around, make something shake. I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right, y'all, here we go. My little engine run stand temporarily set up. I need to add some spacers between the motor and the bolt. And then I need that bell housing, because this is temporarily I got it tacked in place right there to hold the motor up. But this is what we're gonna end up with for the most part. For the most part, I mean, I'm thinking, like I said, right here, radiator stuff, controls, start, and then, yeah, I feel like that'll work, man. I feel like that'll work. I'm gonna have to add a little weight to this. I think I'm a little heavy out back. But you know, for what it is, that's, you know, a run stand. I try to center it up. I'm a little crooked right now. It's not sitting true on the motor mount wise, as you can see. But I can get that trued up. But until I get a bell housing, I can't mess with that right now. I think I'm gonna push it over here beside the box Chevy, and we're gonna get us a thumbnail. Yeah. Hey man, if y'all like this kind of content, hit that subscribe, man. We just trying stuff, man. We just trying stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just trying. I mean, I'm out here in the swap stuff garage, you know. See, I'm covered up because it is cold. You see there's snow still on the vehicles, but I gotta get it done, man. Gotta get it done. We're gonna tackle some other things. Coming to the next video, man. We're gonna go in reverse, move a little different. But I kind of wanted to get this done as far as to be able to do this. I'm a little short on scrap iron. I mean, I got some pieces of C-channel, but that stuff is so heavy, man. Heavy. Oh no, I gotta put a couple pieces of angle so I can do my radiator setup. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go see what kind of radiator I can find. You know what I mean? I think I got a radiator back there. Nothing big. I don't have to have nothing huge. I'm gonna go back there and see what kind of radiator I got, build a frame for it, and mount it to this, put a fan on it, and then I want to try to put me a little spot for the battery over here, and then our 5-gallon, our 5-gallon fuel cell. I might not use that right in there. I might put that behind me because you just don't want to take them chances. I do have a fuel tank that came out of a 46 Ford truck, and it'll set right in there perfect. But it's huge, I don't necessarily need something that big because I'm not running it for 3 hours. But it'll look neat sitting there. So let me get to this thumbnail and yeah. All right. Plus it doubles as being able to move the engine a lot easier. A lot easier. So I'm not complaining about that, man. I can, even in gravel, I was able to move this pretty easy. So we just need to get this in there. But before that happens, we need to hear it run on here. So hopefully we can make all that happen. I think I am going to add some type of gusset or something. I'm thinking I'm going to add some gussets. I don't know if I need side to side or front to back, but it's leaning forward, looks like pretty hard. So I may need to add a kicker from here to there. I'm thinking about that. Yeah, I think I might. So that's what we got planned next for that. But for now, we're going to call it good. Call it done. Hit that like, hit that subscribe as well. Be blessed. Stay blessed. Swaps out.